This is a pen nib holder. This is a G Pen nib. This is my iPad Pro. And this is an Apple Pencil too. I am not used to this one anymore. I don't really like the process of making manga. Wait, let me specify. I don't really like the tedious parts of making a manga. Like all the repetitive strokes and lines and, you know, all the speed strokes, speed lines, the focus lines, the dots that you need to put. And some people really like that kind of stuff, but I don't. I like the more creative side of making the manga, like just thinking of the story, the concepts, the character designs, the personalities, the characters, the plot twists, all those things. But when it comes to the art stuff, I prefer the sketching part, as well as inking the final shapes and forms of the characters. But the details, especially of landscape and other doodads that appear on the panel, not a big fan of. By the way, as a side note about sketching and drawing, I find that I prefer most of my sketches over my finished artwork. That's probably why most of them are hidden away from the eyes of the world. I don't know. But I've heard some other artists say that they like the process of doing all those repetitive lines and putting all those dots and marks on the page because they find it therapeutic. It's kind of repetitive and brain dead in a positive kind of way because they just operate automatically. And sometimes when my ADHD kicks in, I do agree. Because sometimes I fall into this trance-like state when I'm working on the lines. But even when I do sometimes fall into that trance-like ADHD in the zone kind of state, my physical body just surrenders at times. So for example, today my wrist started hurting and I had to take a break from making manga, so I decided to just film the video, edit the video while I'm resting my wrist, and I'll just continue later on. But that put me in some kind of introspective mode where I had to ask the question, when people say they love making art, do they really mean that they love the process of making art? Or they like the results? Because just like with other endeavors of human beings, I feel like the process is something that not a lot of people actually appreciate, but the results are so beneficial that people just do them. Like for example, working out at the gym. If people really enjoyed the process of getting fit and healthy and gaining muscle, everybody would do it. But that's exactly why not a lot of people go to the gym and work out, because the process itself is not so easy. Yet of course there are some people that say that they love working out, but I think maybe that's mostly because they love seeing the results, and they know how hard it is, that's why they do so. And I guess the same is true for me. I don't really like the tedious parts of the process of making manga, but I do appreciate the times when people say that my art is good, or my concept is interesting, or that I've inspired them to work on their own stuff, and I've inspired them to work on other things that are non-manga related. They just want to pursue things. And I guess it's just as simple as that. By the way, today's progress is pretty limited. A while ago, you saw me throw a real G-pen across the room. Ironically, and funny enough, I use a brush called Real G-pen in Clip Studio Paint, and that's one of the default brushes. I desaturated the colors of the layers of the sketches, so you probably wouldn't be able to tell from this far away where the inking actually is, but I'll flash the thing on screen. And you might be wondering, where the hell is the castle? So yeah, I sketched out the castle. It's not yet inked, but I will ink this overnight. And once my wrist recovers, I'll be able to grind it out again. And hopefully tomorrow, I'll be able to show you perhaps almost the full page, or maybe the full page. So to recap, I don't like the tedious parts of the process of making manga. But for the love of storytelling, I go through them anyways. I'll see you guys tomorrow.